Hi everybody, it's Nick, and you know at Lake Geneva Country Meats, we have all sorts of tips and tricks on cool ways you can make a turkey to be delicious, juicy, and so flavorful. A lot of these tips and tricks involve cutting the turkey in weird ways, like spatchcocking. However, sometimes you just want that beautiful, whole roasted turkey to put in the middle of your dinner table and have that Norman Rockwell holiday. This recipe will give you that perfect, beautiful whole turkey, but with two little tips and tricks that are outside your normal recipe. They're going to take your turkey to a whole new level. By using a special seasoning mixture, we're going to get really crispy, beautiful skin. And by using a ceramic stone in the oven, we're going to cook with radiant heat to make sure the thighs and legs cook to the same temperature that they need to, while the breast doesn't get overcooked. Let's get started. All right, we have a 10 to 12 pound turkey. I like cooking a little bit smaller turkey than a lot of people, and if I have a big crowd to feed, I prefer cooking 2 turkeys rather than one big one. Smaller turkeys usually cook more evenly, and especially with this recipe, it's important to use something in the 10 to 16 pound range. You can see we have everything laid out. Our turkeys come fresh. If you have a frozen turkey, make sure you defrost it. The first thing I like to do is take out this pop-up timer. A lot of turkeys come with them, but they're not reliable for telling if the turkey is cooked correctly. It's very important to make sure you get the correct temperature, and we're going to use a remote thermometer probe to make sure we do that. If you have a normal cooking thermometer, that works as well. So we're going to take this out and throw it out. The next step is to go ahead and take out the giblets from the inside of the turkey. We have a neck here. You can see there's a little bit of ice, and that doesn't mean the turkey's frozen. It just means the water you use to rinse out the inside is frozen. Water freezes at a higher temperature than turkey meat does, so even if there's a little bit of ice chunks inside, doesn't mean your turkey's frozen. We have the neck here, and then if we look up top, we have the rest of the giblets. Set these aside. We have a great gravy recipe and a great stuffing recipe, well, dressing since it's on the side, that we're gonna use these for. Next, we have this little plastic cage, and we're gonna wanna take that out. There we go. Throw it out, and now we're ready to get seasoning. Okay, we're gonna make a very simple seasoning blend for the outside of our turkey that's classic and traditional, just salt and pepper, but we add a little bit of baking powder. What that baking powder does is crisp up the skin on the turkey beautifully for great crunch, flavor, and of course that beautiful color. So, what we're gonna do, start with some salt. I like kosher salt, highly recommend kosher salt. 2 tablespoons, there we go. Then we're gonna add 2 teaspoons of the baking powder. Next, just 1 teaspoon of black pepper. If you like a little extra seasoning, feel free to add yourself what you like, but this is the base one, very traditional. Just mix this together, and we're good to season the turkey. Now that we have our seasoning blend, it's time to get this turkey ready. So first thing, grab some paper towel and blot the turkey dry on the inside and outside. Don't you get crazy, flip the turkey over and get the other side. Okay, now that we have it dry, we're gonna wanna cut off the extra skin from the neck, cutting off the turkey skin, throw that out. Now it's time to season. Take your seasoning mix and just generously get it all over. Now that we have the turkey seasoned on the outside, we're gonna do some aromatics for the inside. You don't need to season the inside with this mixture. This is just for the crispy skin. So let's get our aromatics ready and get ready to put this in the oven. When we put aromatics inside the cavity of the turkey, they help add beautiful aromatics to the inside. So what we have are an onion cut in half, a lemon cut in half, rosemary, and thyme. All you need to do is put them right inside the cavity. And this turkey's a little bit smaller, so you can only get the 1/2 of the lemon and onion in. That's totally fine. Bigger turkeys, you'll be able to get both halves in. If you can't get them both, don't overstuff it, it's fine. Now we're ready to get the oven preheated and start our other trick. We want to let this sit at room temperature while the oven is preheating to let the dry browning process occur on the turkey. If you can do this overnight, let it sit in the refrigerator for 24 hours ahead of time. That's great, but not at all necessary. This is our second trick. a ceramic baking stone. You might have a baking steel that you like for making crisp cookies. You might have a pizza stone like I have, but this is going to retain a bunch of heat. So what we're going to do is put this in an oven, preheat it to 500 degrees, get it nice and warm, and then we're going to put the turkey on a V-shaped roaster with the thighs down. All of this radiant heat will come up from the ceramic stone and cook the underside of the turkey, making it juicy, flavorful, and perfectly cooked throughout. So let's preheat our oven to 500 degrees. While that's preheating, we have our turkey sitting on the counter, getting that nice dry brine for crispy, delicious skin. So it's time to put our ceramic stone into the oven. Let it sit in there for 20 minutes or so while the turkey is still at room temperature, dry brining, and then we'll be able to get the turkey in. So let's put this in the oven. We've had our turkey sitting out at room temperature, dry brining while the oven's been getting hot. Like I said, you can also do this overnight in your refrigerator for great results, but just having it out for 30 minutes to an hour will also help a lot. As you can see, moisture is coming to the surface of the turkey. That means the dry brine's working. You're gonna end up with golden, crispy, delicious skin. To cook this turkey, we're gonna transfer it from this pan onto a baking sheet with a V-rack on top. We're not gonna use the traditional roasting pan because this will help airflow go through the turkey a lot better. This V-rack is easy to find at a grilling store, hardware store that sells grills, things like that if you don't have one. We also have a link where you can buy it if you don't. We're gonna have a lot of radiated heat come up from that ceramic stone, just powering out that heat, and it's gonna cook the underside of the turkey that needs to cook to a higher temperature than the breast meat. Ultimately, this is gonna cook faster, more evenly, and give you a juicy, delicious bird. So let's get this on the rack. And we can get it in the oven. A lot of people ask how many minutes per pound, and we can give you an answer on that, but it's not always precise. The best way to make sure your turkey is done is to put a probe thermometer in with an alarm set and cook until the breast reaches 150 degrees. We're gonna put that probe in, set an alarm, and let it cook until it reaches 150 degrees in the breast. Take the probe, stick it in the breast, make sure it doesn't hit the bone because that'll screw up your temperature. Close the oven lid, plug this in, and then go ahead and turn the heat down to 300 degrees and let it roast at that. We'll be back when we're ready to take the turkey out of the oven. Our turkey has reached 155 degrees in the breast and it's ready to pull out. So let's take it out and see what it looks like. Oh, it smells delicious and it's golden, crispy. I love the way the skin is just so pretty. Oh, it smells so good. This looks like a winner. So what we're gonna do now is let it rest for about 15 to 20 minutes to cool off. There's some juices in the cavity that are gonna be very hot. Don't splash those on yourself. We're gonna pull out the aromatics, discard those, put on the plate, and we have a beautiful turkey to serve Norman Rockwell style. Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed this recipe that combined a traditional presentation with some modern tricks. Have a wonderful holiday season, and we'll see you soon at Lake Geneva Country Meats.